Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACCUPLACER Math Tutoring. Yes, I am going to be doing some more of the PSAT. Just wanted to finish this out because I know a lot of people are probably home, sitting and chilling and wondering, what can I do to raise my PSAT score? Says no one. So anyway, but the reason why I'm doing this is because there are some people out there that really want to take their next step. And who am I not to provide what needs to be provided? So as you guys are coming on in, you can go ahead and tap. I'm just going to come in and finish up the packets that we were working on for the past couple of days. And I figured, well, shoot, you guys are sitting home. You're not doing much of anything. And if some people come in, awesome. If people don't come in, that's okay. I got more content. So what I am doing is we're taking on this next, as soon as I can get it all zoomed in, my things are all kinds of off today. All right, so here we are. The given equation relates the positive numbers a, b, and x. Which equation correctly expresses a in terms of b and x? So you're probably like, say what? Now, anytime they want you to solve something in terms of, that means they want a to equal with this stuff still in it. Okay, that means we're not substituting anything. So if we have this original equation that x equals 8a times b plus 9. So they want you to solve this equation for a. And if you want, as a little helpful hint, look at your answer choices. All of your answer choices says a equals. So they want you to solve this for a. So now as you're looking at this, you're probably like, well, how do I get a? Oh, let me distribute. Oh, okay, then I'm going to divide and stop. If you take a look, the 8 and the a, when you don't see a plus or a minus sign in between, that means you're doing multiplication. Between the a and the parenthesis, that means multiplication. So everything here on the right-hand side, that's multiplication. So what's the inverse of multiplication? It's division. So why not make life easy for ourselves? We want to keep it in terms of a, so that means everything that does not have an a, we're going to divide that on both sides. So the a's will cancel out to give me 1. My b plus 9s will cancel out to give me 1. And what's going to be left is your a. And then what's left on this left-hand side is x over 8 times b plus 9. And your answer choice is going to be B. All right? Yup. Okay. Making, hey, addiction, how are you? Good morning. Yes, well, afternoon for me. But that's basically what we're doing. That was it. All right? See? Nothing too crazy, nothing too technical. So now, let's look at 20. Kind of hide 21 a little bit. Let's see. All right. So for 20, we have this line. So line J is shown in the XY plane. Line K, not shown, is parallel to line J. What is the slope of line K? All right, so let's zoom in so you can kind of take a little gander here. All right, so we already have line J, but there is another line K that is parallel to J. So this should trigger something, well, especially anxiety, but we're going to calm that down. So we need to know about what? Parallel lines, okay? Hey, Lauren, how are you? All right. So we need to know about parallel lines. Do 7th graders do this? Yes, they do. Anything that has to deal with slope or equation of the line, they're about to see that, possibly like around 2nd semester, but they will see that. All right. Okay. So thank you, Stephen. We have, they don't intersect. Okay. They don't intersect. So that means parallel lines, they don't cross. Okay. Just like my fingers, they're not going to cross. So if anything, that means they have the same slope. So before we can do anything, what we got, Braden? You saying 4? Okay. So before we can do anything, we need to find the slope of this line. So I'm not sure if you can see, but let me zoom in even further. Okay. This line, they gave us 2 points. Okay, sometimes they give you little hints like this. So if they give you 2 points, we can find the slope of this whole entire line. And remember, slope is rise over run. So how do I find the slope of a graph? I pick one of my points and I'm going from one point to the next. I always like to say it's like you're trying to give somebody directions in the city. So I'm here at my house. I want to get to my friend's house. So I need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 city blocks, then turn right and go 1 block. So my rise, if I may put it over here, my rise, I went up 4, and my run, I went to the right 1. If I go to the right, it's going to be a positive number. If I go up, it's going to be a positive number. But if I happen to go, let me see, if I start here to go to this point, I can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go to the left 1. So if I want to write that one up, that means my rise, which I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, I went down 4. So that's -4. And my run, I went to the left 1. So that's -1. But a negative divided by a negative, that gives me a positive. Okay? So no matter what, you're going to have the same type of slope. So it asks, what is the slope of line K? So the line K, just like what Braden, I think it was, said is going to be 4/1 or just simply 4. All right. Excuse me. Yep. So 313 crystal, all you have to do is just flip it around. Okay, remember, your run always go on the bottom. You have to rise out of bed to run to the bathroom, okay? Maybe it's an old person thing, but it seems to work, I think, all right? So that's what's happening. All right, for 21, let me shrink down a lot. All right, so for 21, a line segment that has a length of 115 centimeters is divided into 3 parts. One part is 47 centimeters. The other 2 parts have lengths that are equal to each other. What is the length in centimeters of one of the other 2 parts of equal lengths? All right. Okay, what if it was perpendicular? Well, it's not going to be exactly the same. It will be opposite reciprocal. That means you would have to, for number 20, if you had a 4 and they said the line is perpendicular, it's going to be an opposite reciprocal. So your answer would be -1/4. Okay. All right, so I don't know about you, but I am a visual person. So if we got our segment, and they're saying it's broken up into 3 pieces, okay? So if it's divided into 3 parts, it should be like 3 equal parts, roughly. But they say that the length That means that whole thing is 115 centimeters. Okay, especially for people that are like, yeah, I have trouble with word problems. Can't even speak. So draw it out. Draw yourself a picture. Okay, so they say one part is 47. And the other two parts that are equal to each other. We don't know what those other two parts are. So I'm going to put X as my unknown. And since they're supposedly equal to each other, that's why both of them are X's, because it's going to be the same measurement. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do simple equations. We have two X's. So that's my 2X. Plus my 47 is going to equal my 115. Okay. I was able to get this out of this. Okay. So these are my parts. This is representing my three parts. If you didn't get the 2X and you just wrote X plus X equals 47, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. But it has to equal 115. So now we're basically going to solve this. So I want to isolate my X. First thing I'm going to have to do is subtract my 47 on both sides. The reason why you're subtracting is because you are trying to isolate the variable, and you always want to do the opposite or the inverse operations when you're solving. So that gives us our 68. So now we have our 2X is equal to 68. So we're just trying to find what X is. So we got to divide both sides by 2. So we get our X or 2's here. X is by itself. So that'll be 34 centimeters. Okay. So go back to the question. So many people get these things wrong because of silly mistakes. Silly mistakes could be that dividing piece from getting a full scholarship, don't have to pay anything, to I got to pay for my room and board. There's a lot of college kids that think they got a full scholarship and they only get a scholarship that pays for the classes and it doesn't pay for room and board. And what happens? They end up homeless on campus and not telling their families that they are. There is a lot of homeless people that's on college campuses nowadays because they thought they were getting a full ride when only parts of it's done. So to kind of alleviate, I hate to say it, it sounds like so dramatic, but it's true. Okay, there's a lot. There is a lot. So since they only want to know one of the two parts that are equal, this is representing it. That's 34. This would be 34. So we don't have to plug anything in. This is your answer. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. It's a little messy right now. It's like my handwriting's just a little tad messy. Okay. All right. Questions on these. Actually, let me take a moment to look to see. Okay. Thank you so much for the follows, Dad. When is SAT math prep? Right now. Right now. Okay. The sum of that. Okay. Yep. Very much easy. Okay, to check work. See, here's my thing, Exotic. When you're doing the SATs, we don't got time for checking. Because a lot of people, you can do it visually. If you have time at the end of the test that you want to do and check your work, that's what you want to do. Okay? Everyone keeps trying to teach the exam just like they would take a test in the classroom. And that's what screws people up. And they're like, oh my God, I'm running out of time. And next thing you know, they're just going C, 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 B, C, D, just change things up, right? So it's like if you're going to get it, try to get it, try to understand it from the very beginning. All right. Oops. Get my pens out of the way. It's like everything's in the way today. Maybe that's what it is. That's what it is. There we are. So much better. All right. Okay. But you're here listening? Okay, perfect. Just going to college and studying. That's all right. Well, welcome. Yep. The days of just being in school, all you had to do was worry about getting up in the morning or getting up for class, taking class, and that's it. Yeah, adulting sucks. All right, so here we have P of X plus 57 equals X squared. Okay, so now we're getting to the tail end of the SATs. Okay, so now they're really like trying to jab and see how much you can actually think outside the box. So the given equation relates the value of X, its corresponding value of P of X for the function P. What is the minimum value of the function P? Notice this is question 22. I think this is 22 out of 27. Okay, so once it starts getting there, it really starts messing with your mind a bit. Okay, stay true. Okay, so Veronica is saying B. Okay, Dre's saying D. Back again. Instead of computer science. Okay. Yeah, try not to get a professor that wrote the book. That's what happened to me. Okay, you have no clue? All right, Kayla, thank you for your realness. I appreciate that. Not Jeff saying B. JB saying A. Computer science major 2. Oh, yeah, there you go. Black Mirror saying B. Dre saying wait B. Okay. JR saying C. Okay. Remember, if you don't know, you could put a question mark. That's perfectly fine. That's answering a question too. Okay. Not Jeff. Can't have a negative equal to X squared unless you're using I. Okay, a lot of question marks. I appreciate you guys. So Kayla, we got Daisy, we have Madam Gadgets, we have B, we addicted. Okay, Tash, Tashi, Eric saying B, meme, asking minimum yet, so would be B. Okay, Ben List saying B, now Jeff B. Okay, question marks. All right, girl and B. I don't know for certain. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. What we're doing. Sorry, try to get my highlighter here. Okay. So we're trying to see what is the minimum value for the function P. The function P is this whole thing, P of X. So the lowest number that we can have for an X without it going crazy, and I think someone said it, it's going to be tough for you to have a negative number for X because that X is being squared. What happens when you have a negative that's being squared? What happens to it? Good. Hopefully it's fun, not so much like torture. Okay. It's always positive. Good. Not Jeff. There you go. Addicted. Good. Positive. DB. Positive. Yes. Andrea. Positive. Slim. Okay. Welcome back. Underfunded. Yeah. Okay. Madam. Yes. Follow. Thank you for the follow. Daisy. Yes. It becomes positive. Okay. You need this for real. It's here. Good. Undefined. Not really undefined. Okay. I thought you were talking about the school thing. Okay. So when a negative is being squared, let me put it here because I'm still getting a couple things. Let's say negative 3 squared. Negative 3 squared means negative 3 times negative 3. A negative times a negative gives me a positive. So if I plug in, if I get a negative here, it's going to give me a positive. So it's not really going to give me my minimum value. It's going to change it. It's going to change that number. And we can't really have a negative. I think someone mentioned it because if we try to do the square root of both sides, yeah, we're going to have to deal with complex numbers. That's not it. So the lowest that you can go, especially when you see a squared, is 0. So basically, I want to know what's going to make this side equal to 0. And the only thing that can make that side, the left side of the equation, to equal to 0 is B. Because negative 57, let's say the minimum value of the function of P, which is this, negative 57 plus 57 will give me 0. If you realize, or if I take a step back, anytime we were, like, say, factoring, and we wanted to find our zeros, we always, unless you were doing completing the square, we always set the equation equal to 0. Because that's the lowest that because when you put a 0 in the domain, if it's in the denominator, let's just assume it's not, okay, we're going to be dealing with some crazy numbers. So we're simply, to the point, the minimum value that we want x squared to equal will be 0. So we want to know what's going to make this side equal to 0. B. Okay, to solve. Okay, so we're not solving for P of X. We just want to know what's the lowest number that we can plug in here. That's going to relate the value of X and its corresponding value. Okay. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That made me cry. Or discrete algebra. Okay. All right. Next one. I don't know why everything is so kooky today. Like, I just can't slide the way I want to slide. Okay. All right, here we go. I don't know, why I'm all discombobulated today. It's crazy. Okay, so the table shows two values of x and their corresponding value of y. In the xy plane, the graph of linear equations represents this relationship passes through the point 1/7 a. What is the value of a? Okay, what is the value of a? Ooh, what's happening here? Never mind, you're confused. The highest number. Okay, addicted. Okay, so let's see. What are we looking for? So we're looking for the y value of this point. That's 1, because it says, what is the value of a? But they're giving us something. They said of the linear equation representing this relationship. Linear equation. linear equation, the first thing we should be thinking of is y equals mx plus b. Okay? So we need two things. We need two things. We need a slope and we need a y-intercept. All right? So they gave us 2 points. So that means we need to find the slope of these 2 points. What's happening? What is my slope? Remember, slope is the change of your y's over the change of your x's. What's the pattern of my y's? How do I go from negative 48 to a positive 52? Let's start there. See, how can you plug in? You need your slope before you can do anything, okay? You can't plug anything in. You're just going to be, all right, you got an x and a y, but we don't know slope to help us find the y-intercept, okay? Okay. All right. Thank you. As a Sabbatha. Okay. So we're going to have to add 100. Right? So if I have 100 minus 48, doesn't that give me 52? All right. Then what's the pattern of my x's? Y 100? Y 100? What's 100 minus 48? Okay, what's 100 minus 48? 52. Thank you. There we go. So that's why we're using 100. Because if I'm at negative 48 and I add 100, I'm going to get up to 52. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing the change. They're like, can't you just do the change? I'm doing the change. Okay, so now from negative 18 to 7, a lot of you guys wrote it's 25. Because 25 minus 18 gives me 7. No, you're not slow. Stop saying that. Trust me, I'll be the first person to say you are. And I haven't said it to you yet, except for that example. So you're not. Okay. Hey, Lynette, how are you? Okay. All right. So we're taking, that's what the delta, a lot of people probably haven't seen the triangle before. Triangle means delta, change. Okay. So the change or the difference of your y's, 100, with the difference of your x's, the 25. So that means we got 100 over 25. Okay, 100 divided by 25, as so many people were throwing up there, will give us our 4. Exactly. We're just taking it step by step. All right, no problem. Are we all on the same page now? I know there's going to be a lot of people like, I said 4 in the beginning. Okay, you can get your gold star later. Okay? Y'all need to be hugged. All right? Okay. All right, because you are smart. Would you stop the foolishness? Oh, look at you with the stickers. All right. Now, we have a slope. Okay? Now, we need to figure out a y-intercept because we need to figure out what is our equation first in order for us to figure out what that missing coordinate is. Okay, we got to figure out what that missing y value is. So I'm going to use just standardize. A lot of people, some people would like to use point slope form. But the reason why I just go back to what I know, because I know how some people will have a tendency to try to overload their brain with all the formulas. And if you can get one formula down, you can do so much with it, okay? Yes, I know there's a point slope form. I know because I used to teach it and I got it. But I'm trying to make it simple so people can actually be doing the advanced stuff, okay? So I'm going to make life easy for myself. I'm going to pick this last one because they're both positive, right? I know how you guys feel about negatives. So I'm going back to, and I'm keeping it in green for a reason. I'm going back to my y equals mx plus b. The 52 is that y value. My m is the slope. The x is the 7 from the point. And I bring down the plus b. Okay, because I need two things. I need the slope, which we got. Now I need the y-intercept, which is my b. So we have 52 equals to 28 plus b, because 4 times 7 is 28. Subtract the 28 from both sides. The reason why we're doing that is we need to get b by itself. Okay, needs to be by itself, alone. All right, so 52. Can you add, can you subtract? If you answer yes to both, you're good. Sweet. All right, so please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, isolating that. Okay, so I'm seeing a 24 and I'm seeing a 34. Which is it? There we go. I just needed another person to confirm it. So our B, good. Nice, Bradley. My hearts. SMP with the heart. Good job. The names you guys have. You had to use the Apple calculator. All right, well, here we go. Is that Tyann? Saying 24. RA. All these, okay? No, it's not 36. Okay, use your head. All right, now, we have our equation. So I'm gonna write it over here. Okay. We have our y equals our m, which was the 4, plus the 24. Now, we're getting to the point. Hence, different color. So this time, we're going to plug in my 1/7 for the x value. And what we're going to do is try to find what the y value is. So it is equals 4 times plus 24. So we got our 1/7. See, here they go with the fractions. So we multiplied the 4 times the 1/7. And I have a feeling that I'm going to have to do multiplying this evening. So 4 times 1/7 gives me 4/7. Now, this 24 is a whole number. In order for me to combine a fraction, I need to change that 24 into a fraction that has a denominator of 7. Because if you recall, when you're adding and subtracting, you need to have a common denominator. So we have to think, what divided by 7 will give me 24? If you're stuck like Chuck, this is what you should do. Take that 24 and multiply it by 7. Ooh. Take that 24 and multiply it by 7. Good job, guys. All right. So we got that 168. So if you ever get to the point you're like, and you're thinking of like, okay, what divided by 7 gives you 24? Stop. Just stop the torture. Just do 24 times 7 to get that answer. Now we have a common denominator. I'm noticing from here, I'm looking at my answer choices. Okay, from here, I'm looking at my answer choices. Yes, I can continue on. What's my answer? Okay, but it's not. What's my answer? There you go, Jen. There you go, Nicholas. Black Mirror. Not Jeff. Good. Mr. All of that. My double hearts. Sabe. Okay. I think that's a skull. Me too. Meme. That's good. Cherry Mom. Good. Excellent. Yep. So Chris, we see it now. Good. I love Lucy. Iron. Heather. Everyone. Wicked Paul. Good job. Addicted to sex. All right. Excellent. Yes. And I can tutor, but here's my thing. I cost a lot of money. Okay. My courses are usually, my sessions are $92. Okay. I do have a special for my TikTok fams. Okay. If you are a subscriber to my thing, this platform thing, I bring it down to 67. Okay. What I do well. I get results. And the reason why I'm saying it in this type of tone is because someone asked for my assistance. I put myself out there. We were supposed to have an appointment at 11 o'clock today. No call, no show. If you're not serious, don't ask. Okay? It's an investment and you will do well. That's just my plan. Okay? Yep, an hour. Yes, I do. Because I'm worth every friggin' second and cent of it. And if you don't believe me, you can Google my ACG Math Tutoring and you can look at the reviews. Okay. All right. So how'd you get the 172? Well, that tells me I need to do some fractions tonight. We have a common base of 7. We don't do a blessed thing with the denominator. Once we get them as a common denominator, it carries on down. But the numerators are what you're adding. So 4 plus 168, that gives us our 172. Okay. Now, here's another option to keep costs low for the tutoring if you want. I do group rates. Okay, so I do group rates. So it's going to be up to you guys if you want it. All right. Awesome. Do I go over polynomials? I do, and I did. Actually, if you want, where'd my paper go? Oh, here it is. Okay, let me unzoom a little bit. So if you go here, I have all of my TikTok lives. I'm right now uploading last night's live. For some reason, it took a very long time. So if you go here, if you go to my YT, type in this and look for TikTok lives, you can see all of that. If you type in polynomials, you'll see all the stuff, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Some with long division, some with synthetic. It's all there. All right, there you go. Awesome. Okay, there you go, Ari. I just do it for fun. Okay, not a problem. All right, not a problem. So if anything, just go in there, do these 5 things, and we should be golden. All right. Well, thanks for keeping on with the tapping. Just keep it on. We still have a few more to go. And then I will be on later on tonight, and I'm thinking probably around 6 p.m. But stay tuned for other options and other things. Okay. So taking a look at our next one. Okay. Anytime they give you an equation, I'm telling you right here, right now, anytime they give you an equation, go straight to the question. All right. You can pull the rest of the information out later. Okay. They gave me an equation. All right. What do they want me to do with this? They say, which of the following equivalent equations display the values of S? And you're like, okay, what's S? Oh, it's right here. S is talking about my y-intercept, okay? As a constant, a coefficient, or a base. And you're probably like, what? And this is, When y equals S? Yes, you are. How do you spell tutoring? You just did. All right, lost in space, yep. Okay, now let me show you this and you're gonna be like, oh dear Lord. All right, let's zoom in with the equation. When I look at the equation, right away, I notice there's something up with this exponent. What do you notice with the exponent? So if I cover this up, just based off of your knowledge, what do you notice about the exponent? Blank. See what blank says. See what Jess says. There is a variable. Yes, Black Orchid saying that. It does have a variable. Okay. We can factor out. They do have a 2 in common. So we can factor out that 2. So when I do that, it's going to be 2 parenthesis x plus 1. And you're probably saying, how did you get that? Well, since both of them have a 2 in common, this is called my GCS. So if I do that, I'm going to divide both of them by my GCF. So 2x divided by 2 will give me 1x, hence the x right here. 2 divided by 2 will give me 1 plus 1. So when we put it all together, because we can't forget to bring the GCF, it'll be 2x plus 1. Now, going back to this lovely equation, I can write it out like this. We have, I can put it here. We have our 576 raised to the 2 and our x plus 1. Notice the x plus 1, that's really your exponent. You're like, say what? That's really your exponent. So they want you to square this. What's 576 squared? Definitely using a calculator. There's nothing wrong with that one. No judgment whatsoever. When you have 576 raised to the second power, it should be more than 1,000. There you go. Thank you, meme, for 576 times 576. Yes. Okay, so that's Cal. Cal saying 331,776. Okay, Andrea said the same thing. Yup, JC said the same thing. Nicholas figured it out. Okay. So with that, the only one that gave us that 331,776 was A. This is your answer. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's going to be your answer. Right. And it's like, once you see that, like for me, and of course, this is me that's always surrounded by this crazy world called math, right? I'm constantly doing things with Algebra 1. I'm constantly doing things with geometry, Algebra 2. And I even have a pre-calculus kit later on this afternoon. So it's like, I see these things. I'm always looking to see if it can be factored. And this it did. And then they claimed, with the parenthesis, they claimed that x plus 1 as your new exponent. So that means this 2 doesn't cancel out with anything. That means it's actually your exponent to just the number. Okay. All right. Okay. Are these questions also in GED? Not this intense. This, yes. This would be considered a 4-point question. This, not so intensive. Okay. You will be doing some kind of factoring. Like that part will be in the GED. But it's taking it to this extreme, not that extreme. No. Okay. Because even the SATs take us all the way up to Algebra 2. GED tries to at least get you roughly to up to mid part of geometry, especially with volume. Okay. What is the TS 112? What is that? I swear, like people are like making up stuff. Because I'm like, every state calls it something completely different. And it'll be like the same exact math. Okay, 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, 2 squared will still give you 4. Okay. Okay, you're not ready for the SAT in school starting? Well, get to studying. Because if you're an 11th grader, that's the one reason why I'm doing these. Because if you're an 11th grader and you are trying to get your PSAT, because your PSAT for 11th grade is vital, because that's what a lot of the colleges look at to figure out what scholarships you can get. So that's why I came on here, because starting on Wednesday, I'm actually doing a 5-week PSAT math prep. And it started with one of my new clients that I have in Puerto Rico. And she's like, we haven't been in school for a couple of years. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, COVID. And then we had the hurricane. And then we had an earthquake. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot all about that. So they just went back to school, I want to say last week. So that's what sparked me trying to help. So I'm trying to get at least a maximum of 12 students. So the intimacy is still there. But if I can get, I have like 10 spots left for as of right now. So if you know of anyone that is trying to do their PSAT, get a little bit of training, get a little process going, just send them my way. All right. Okay. So this one, you look at it and you're probably like, oh, I don't know. You're getting ready for your ASVAB? Good. Okay. We need to know, where do you go? Oh, you live in Puerto Rico? Oh, okay, cool. So it's like, talk to me about when you're taking your test. If you're close to it and you want to just like do some tweaking, we can do that. I've seen people went from something in the 20s to like getting in the 40s and 50s. And we know the higher up you are in ASVAB, the better the jobs you're going to get. Okay. All right. I want to. All right. Throughout the college, you want to. Okay. A 29. Okay. So we definitely need to raise that up, because you have to have a minimum of like 31. So let's see with tweaking. And I can tell you, you probably got stuck with the slope and anything linear. That's probably what got you. And you failed by 2 points. And I can tell you, you probably skipped a lot of the linear stuff. Because if you do well with the basic arithmetic with the GED and you skip a lot of the linear stuff, you're not going to pass. Or maybe you guessed at a couple of them. But if you can get anything with slope, the equation of the line, system of equations, volume. If you can get any of those are called 4-point questions. So all the other stuff, adding, subtracting, like this, that's a 1-point question. Okay, all the exam questions are not graded exactly the same. Okay, all right, so let's work on this. So if k minus x is a factor of the expression, this expression looks fugly. Okay, got you. Where n and k are constants and k is greater than 0. So let me translate this for you. And they want to know what is the value of n. We're looking for this. Okay. So right now they want to know which of these, if we plug it in for n, is going to give us one of our factors is going to be k minus x. So I'm going to alleviate your torture. And they're saying that k has to be larger than 0. So it has to be positive. So your k value has to be positive. So if we have negative x squared plus 1/29th, and we're saying n times k squared. What would make us so much happy right now? What would make us extremely happy at this point in time? What the heck? What are you doing? Okay, you're starting pre-algebra this year. Have any tips? Study, take clear and concise notes. Okay, so we're saying D it, solve it one step at a time. That's what we're doing. Okay, so what would make this so much easier? What could we get rid of right now? Okay, don't just give me the answer. Just don't give me answers. Like, what could I get rid of right now? The K2 in 2 parts. Okay, you're saying multiply by 29. The negative, not so much the negative. Thank you, Earthquake. Thank you, Princess. There we go. If we can get rid of this fraction right here, if we can get rid of this fraction, things will be so much clearer. So, what do I need to multiply to get rid of that fraction? That's where everybody was coming in with the 29. Because if I do this, 1/29 times 29, this is the same as saying 29 over 29. And what's 29 divided by 29? It'll give us a 1. And we all know anything times 1 is going to be itself. So what we actually have from up here to come down here is a negative x squared. This bad boy is gone. Then we have a plus k squared. But they are telling us that it should be k minus x. No problem. Because we know about our certain properties, okay, with the commutative property, we can switch these two around, especially the commutative property of addition, and we can make this k squared minus x squared. If you put plus a negative x squared, that's the same as saying minus x squared. Okay? But I don't need to go further because, yeah, I could factor this if I really wanted to. But remember, we're taking the SATs here. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. And they say we have one of them as a factor. There it is. Okay? But what made this happen was right here. Getting rid of that 1/9 made all of this happen. That's why our answer is D. Okay. The n is gone. We put the 29 in for the n. How did n get post? Post? Can you do that? Yes. We just did. Welcome to the SATs, where you take what you normally learn in class and you got to think outside the box. That's why, and I'm going to be truthful. I don't want to step on people's toes. I'm just letting you know. Like, usually people, if you struggle with math, or usually like you have English as a second language, you guys should take the ACT. Because the ACT doesn't have too much of this thinking outside the box mentality, whereas the SAT does. Okay? It all depends on what college you want to attend to. Take a look to see what their restrictions are. Don't let society throw you. If they take the ACTs, take the ACTs. If they're like, oh, we take the ACT and we do an interview, all right, do that. Why are you torturing yourself with the SAT so you can go around and say, oh, look, I have an SAT score of like 1,200. Congratulations. And you're still working at McDonald's. What are we doing? You're a smart person that works at McDonald's? Like, come on, let's go. Let's go. It doesn't matter. You're taking these tests to get to where you want to go. That's the whole thing. Don't let these tests define who you are. You're taking it to get to the next level. You have to play their game in order to get to the next level. And when you do go to college, don't just sit there and be a person that's like, I just go to class every day and I do my homework, la, la, la. No, you got to socialize. You got to network. Because when you go to college, you're supposed to network. That's how a lot of these people that think about the job that you currently work. And because he is a friend of the family, of the owner, because she's the girlfriend or the boyfriend of the owner's son or daughter, all of a sudden they're your manager. Don't act like that never happens. It does. It depends on who you know. Welcome to America. Okay? All right? Are we understanding each other? Are we getting it or no? Am I insulting you? If I am, you can go, because I'm going to tell you the truth. Because we got a lot of people that are graduating from college that are still in the same job that they took when they were in high school. But you have a college degree. Congratulations. What are you going to do with it? So you have to network. You have to get yourself social out there. Now, am I sitting here that you need to go drug running? No. Let's calm it down. Let's not be so crazy. But that's what you have to do. Okay, you get the knowledge, you go into class, but you have to network. Okay, you have to put yourself out there. So my thing is, these SATs, the PSATs, the GEDs, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, all of those things is just the hoops that you got to jump to get what you want. So go after what you want. If this is what's standing in your way, then zip your lips, focus up, and then let me break it down to you. Because all of this is a mental game, if you haven't figured it out yet. It's just a mental game. And you have to have a clear and open mind to receive information in order for it to go. Okay? All right. Okay. Let's do this. So we got 2 more left, and then I'm going to continue on with my crazy easy life. Okay. So here we are. Yep. Because I know too many people. And plus, we as human beings, we change our careers. Like at the average, I think they said nowadays, we change our careers like 10 times in our lifetime. 10 times. So like anything that you did when college, hell, I was a psych major for my bachelor. I just wanted to figure my life out. Guess what? I'm 52, soon to be 53, and I still haven't figured my life out. Here we are. But I'm starting to do things I like to do, and I like to help people with their next levels. So here we are. Okay? better for my daughter to take. Okay, so what is your daughter like? I have no idea. So help me. If anything, the best thing, instead of you putting it all here, oh, thank you. Instead of putting it all here, just message me. There's a Service Plus button that will actually be a direct message for, not text message, an email. So it can go straight to my email, or just message me here on TikTok. And then we'll make an arrangement for a small chat, because I really want to know and I really want to help. I'm not just here to take people's money. Like, I really want to help and break these concepts down for you guys. Okay? All right. Not a problem. All right. So let's take a look. Ready? Okay. In the figure, LQ, that's our whole side, intersects MP at point R. Okay. LM is parallel. So this is parallel to PQ. The length of MR, LR, and RP are, okay, so MR is 6. LR is 7. And RP is 11. Okay. What is the length of LQ? So this is the question they want us to answer. Okay, let's not get lost in the sauce. Well, here's my thing. Notice that they give us parallel, but they created small triangles. And I'm assuming that these small triangles are going to be to scale. But I can't assume that. Okay? I cannot make any assumptions. I can only react to what they're giving me. So they're giving me part for this R, MR, RP, this whole length here. They're giving me part, which is 6 to the whole thing, which can be 17. So 6 over 17. And you're probably saying, where's she getting 17 from? 6 plus 11, that means from M to P is going to be 17. Now, looking over here, here's my part. My part is 7. But over the whole thing, which I don't know. Okay? If I want to, I can say that this is going to be my unknown. Let me change colors for that for a second. This is my unknown. That's my X. So the whole length of this side is my 7 plus X. We can do this by setting up what's called a proportion. A proportion is basically two ratios equal to each other. So from here, we have the part over the whole, part over the whole. So anytime you have any fraction equal to a fraction, you're doing what's called cross multiplying. Sounds familiar? Okay. Yeah, you guys should be in transformations right now if you just did that. You just missed that? Yeah, not a problem. Okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to set everything up. So the first one is going to be 6 times 7 plus X equals 17 times 7. 17 times 7 gives me what? 49, something like that. Should give me like 119. Okay, yep. And then over here, you are correct. with, you can distribute. So 6 times 7, that gives me my 42. Plus 6 times x. Do not just write x. Okay, it's going to be 6x. All right, there you go. Thank you, Trip. Okay, so you're looking at possibly that. All right, let's take a look. So now I'm going to subtract the 42 on both sides. So I have my 6x equals 77. All of a sudden I'm getting a brain fart. 77. Thank you. No. Yes. Yes. All of a sudden I just had a real quick brain fart. That was weird. Okay, divide both sides by 6. Quick brain fart. That was weird. Okay, divide both sides by 6. Okay, so right here, we got 77 over 6. Why subtracting? Because you want to isolate your variable. The 42 is a positive 42. You always do the opposite. You always do the inverse. Okay, that's why we're doing subtraction. Okay, we want to get x by itself. Now, so Abby... All right, we want to keep it as a fraction. Okay. All right, always do the inverse. 6x is multiplication. Divide both sides by 6. What did we just find? What did we just find? I'm going to keep it as 77/6. What did we just find? Thank you, Trip. Good. We found the x. We found the part. We found from R to Q. But they want us to find the length of L to Q. Okay? So we only found the part. We need to find this whole entire thing. So that means we need to take that answer of 77/6. Let me see if I can put it right here. And we need to add 7 to it. But that 7, we need a common denominator of 6. So what divided by 6 will give me 7? Okay, there you go, Trip. Okay. 42. Thank you. Because if you ever get stuck, just multiply 7 times 6 to get that numerator. So now we know we have a denominator of 6. So right away, answer choice A is done because it doesn't have a denominator of 6. Answer choice B is done because that only gave us our x. So it's either going to be C or D. So now 7 plus 2, that gives me a 9. The only thing that ends with a 9 up here as my choices is going to be D. Okay, so this is going to be your official answer. So anytime you're solving, take a moment to look at the question. Okay, take a moment to look at the question. All right. Okay. So for people that are coming in, we got one more question, and I'm about to get done right now. And remember, there is a YT. I'm going to show you as soon as we're done with this other one. So you can go to my YT to take a look at all of the, what I mean by YT. This is what I mean. Go here. Okay. Give me some time for me to go in there. All of my lives are there. Okay. And just look up TikTok lives. All right, last one. Then I'm going to get going with my life. Here we go. So we have, even though this is fun, but got life stuff to do. All right, so I'll be actually live later on today. I'm thinking about like around 6. So it looks like I might be doing fractions. So we're going to do that. All right, so now they're saying, what is the sum of the solutions to the given equation? So basically, they just want you to solve it. Okay, they want you to solve it. And they want you to know what is the sum of the solutions. Okay, it's not going to be super, super easy. There's a twist. A twist. 2 minutes. All right, what should I do first? Okay, good. All right, so we could distribute the 5x to everything inside here. So that will give you your 5x plus 35. Okay, we could do that. Okay, we can definitely do the FOIL. Keep the 15 on the outside. So what do I get when I FOIL? X times x gives me x squared. So I'm distributing this x to everything inside of its parenthesis. Then I'm going to distribute the negative 17 to everything inside of its parentheses. So x times x gives me x squared. X times 7, that gives me a positive 7x. So then you have your negative 17 times x. Excuse me. So that gives me negative 17x. And then 17 times 7, that will give me a negative 119. We can do this. Okay. You don't know? Okay. All right. Are we okay? So all we did, we distribute the 5 to the x and the 7. So that's what's happened on the left-hand side. Then we did the FOIL with the 2 parentheses on the right-hand side, and we're going to get our like terms together. So we have our x squared minus 10x minus 119, and bring down our 5x plus 35. Okay. Now King is telling me distribute the 15 and combine our like terms. All right, so we're distributing the 15 to everything inside of that parenthesis. So we have our 15x squared, okay, minus our 150x, and that's minus 1785. Okay. All right, so now, okay, we can subtract the 5x as well as the 35 to put everything on one side of the equal sign. And why would we do that? Because my highest degree or my highest exponent is a 2, is a square. Anytime I see squares, automatically I'm thinking of factoring. So that's negative 155x because since they're both negatives, you're basically adding them, keeping the signage. So since they're both negatives, you're basically adding them, keeping the signage. So that's like one. Battery, and it's plugged in. Weird. Sorry. It was kind of saying that I had like low battery, and I'm like, it's plugged in. It's in the charging agent. Like, what are you talking about? She got fed up with us. No, I didn't get fed up with you. Not yet. No, I'm here. Are you guys back? Everyone's back? All right. Okay. Okay. So now, not even done with this. So we're saying I'm here. Saying the GCF. Okay. So the reason why we're making this side equal 0 is because I see that my highest degree is to the second power. So that means there's going to be some kind of factoring. Either we're using the quadratic formula, or we're actually going to try to factor all of this fun stuff out. No matter what, something is happening. But before we do that, do we have a GCF that deals with the 5, the 15, the 155, and the 1820? Okay. Okay. Yes, 5. So here's my thing. When I said, yeah, you can do that, from the very jump, you could have divide both sides by 5. You could have easily done this because it's all multiplication. So those could have canceled out. This could have been a 3. So now you won't have to deal with such insanely large numbers. But you want to do it? Okay. Okay. So from the jump, because now that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to like factor out the 5 and then do all this crazy stuff. Okay. So let me take it from here to make life so much easier for ourselves. So when we divide everything by 5, this is what happens. You have your x plus 7. I don't even need the parenthesis. I don't know why I'm putting it there, but here we are. Then you have your 3, but we're still going to FOIL this. Okay, so what we got here from the foiling, that's still there. Okay, so you're not dealing with crazy large numbers. So from here, I can distribute the 3 to everything. Okay, so then you'll get your x plus 7 equals 3 times x squared minus 30x. So now we got our 119 times 3. Yes, that's better. Now we got 357. Isn't this so much nicer to deal with than 1,000? Okay, so now, again, my highest degree is to the second. So I'm going to subtract my 7 on both sides with the constant. And I'm going to subtract my x. So that gives me 0 equals 3x squared. So negative 30x minus 1x, that gives me a negative 31x. And then this gives me a negative 364. so much more manageable. Are we okay now? It's a little easier. It's still complex. It's still going to be some stuff. But it's a lot better to deal with than the 1820. I love you all, but no. Like, no, I'm not doing that. All right. So now from here, you can try to figure out what two numbers, like factor out or divide. You can't really divide everything by 3. So this is when you can use remember this formula? Okay. This is the reason why it's the last question of this module. So all those early ones that you're like, man, this is easy, it's cake. Here we go. You're taking that extra time to help work out these type of problems. Okay, remember, SAT, ACT goes by level of difficulty. Okay, yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So your A value, let's see if I can put it here. Your A value is going to be what's in front of the x squared. Your B with its signage is going to be what's in front of the x. And your C is basically your constant with its sign. So when you plug in, and this is where it gets everybody. When you plug in, it's negative 31. You're only replacing the negative 31 with the B. So that negative that's outside of the B stays outside of the B when you substitute. Okay? Now, plus minus, that's the part that gets everybody. Okay, so now you have your B again. Minus 4 times your A, which our A is 3. And my C, negative 364. Gotta slide that over a little bit, okay? And all of this is being divided by 2 times our A. And our A is 3. So the B goes in twice, the A's goes in twice, the C goes in once. Yep. So majority of the time, something like this is usually going to be like a calculator-based one. So you're going to be able to use a calculator for a question like this. But I'm going to show you manually. Because I'm crazy like that. All right, so a negative times a negative gives me that positive. Plus minus comes down. So negative square root, negative 31 squared. So that means it's going to be negative 31 times negative 31. A negative times a negative gives me a positive. And it's a 961. Yes, I did use a calculator. Negative 4 times negative 3 gives me a negative 12. So negative times this negative 364 will turn into a positive. So then we have 364 times 12. That will give me 4,368. All over 2 times 3, which is 6. So what goes in here? My 4,368 plus my 961 gives me 5,368. 329 all over 6. Yep, the torture is not completely over yet. Now we have to do the square root of that answer, which gives me 73. Thank God it's a perfect square, because I would have cried if it wasn't. And then we're going to have 2 answers. So the 2 answers, I know, the monotony of it all. So you're going to have 2 answers. The reason why, well, in the beginning, our highest degree is a square. So that tells us how many solutions we have. So one of them is 31 plus 73 over 6. And the other one is 31 minus 73 over 6. Okay. So 71 plus 31 divided by 6, that can be reduced to 52 thirds. So that's one answer. And the other answer is going to be negative. Divided by 6. Duh. That gives me 7. So this one will give me a negative 7. So what is the sum? So we're not even done. You're like, what? We're not even done. How did I get to 73? Because I took the square root of 5,329. That's where the 73 came from. Yes, King P. Thank you. All right. Way too much. I know. Hi, how you doing? Notice where it is at the end of the test. So they want to see, do you have stamina? That's why when you're about to take any kind of assessment, do not go out with your friends. Do not go running all over the place. Get your ass in the house. Sit down. Go take a nap. Relax. Eat something a little fun, but nothing that's going to be disruptive, because this is going to wipe every bit of your energy out. When you're done with this test, and if you're not tired, you did not work. Okay? Trust me. So now we got to take these 2 answers and we have to add them. So I'm going to see if I can put some room up here. So we have, where's my blue? Here it is. So we have our 52 thirds. And then we have plus, because they want the sum, my negative 7, but I have to make that negative 7 into a negative 21 over 3, because 21 divided by 3 will give me that 7. So now that we have a common denominator, which is 3, we do our subtraction. So 52 minus 21, that gives me 31. 31 thirds. And it's going to be positive, not negative. Positive 31 thirds. Okay, so that is your official answer. Yeah, you see all of this monotonous? All of this craziness. You would hope. Well, for those that are doing GED, ASVAB, it's not going to be this extreme. But I can definitely tell you from here to possibly down will be on there. Or it'll be like 2 separate equations. Like they'll give you stuff just for you to plug in. And then you will have to do this. This will be considered a 4-point question. Okay. But if you were just doing the distributive property just to get to here, like just to get from here to here, that would be like roughly a 3-point question. Okay. All right. Not a problem. So again, give me a moment. Let's see if TikTok is going to behave and I'll be able to download this. Yeah, you can go to my YT account. I would love for you guys to do all. Let me do it this way so you can actually see, so it's not crazy. You can actually do all 5 commands. That would be amazing. And also get the copies of this. For those that are thinking about taking their PSATs in October, I am currently running a 5-week PSAT math prep. Okay, so if you're interested, make sure you reach out to me. You can hit that Service Plus at the very bottom, or you can just simply message me. That's it. You know, you can just message me. I really want to learn more about this. Okay, now it is not free. Sorry, I got to pay rent. Because if I keep giving a lot of things for free, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have to stop doing TikTok so I can, I don't know, pay my mortgage, water, just the basic necessities. I'm not trying to go to Maldives or anything like that. It's like, hey, can't really afford that right now. Okay? Would love to go. It will happen. Putting that out there. All right. So what is this? User, why couldn't you just divide out? Why couldn't I just divide out? Okay, why would you divide out x plus 7? Well, you could. Oh, yeah. You could do that, too. That would be fun. Didn't see that. Good job. Thank you. Because I forgot it was out there. So you can divide out the 5s, and you can divide out the x plus 7s. Yep. Yes, you could. And then you'll have your 7 and your 15 on both sides. And then, yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, thank you. Didn't recognize that. Okay. All right. But then you would have to figure out what your 2 answers are. So that will only give you 1. What about the second answer? Because we still need the sum. Well, if you plug it, no. 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 All right. Sorry. Someone was calling. Are you guys back? I think you are. Okay, go. I had to look for it. Yeah, because that will only give you 1 of the solutions, and there's supposed to be 2. I have to look at that. I'll take a look to see if you can cancel out both, but I think that will only give you 1. Well, it will give you 17/15. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. I'm just used to like the quadratics. All right, so that's 1. That's another. If you want tutoring, if you want a course, if you want to buy books, because I have notebooks, I will be on tonight at 6. Yeah, I'll be on tonight at 6. And I'm going to be going over fractions. And then life will continue on. I think that's it. Okay. All right. So for the books, I know right now, since I was doing it through my sheets, okay, we basically have a lot of our notebooks, and they are officially on sale. Like when I say on sale, they're on sale. They're usually, like my books are usually like around $20, $22 a book. For this month and this month only, They're on sale for $10.29. What? Yes, $10.29. That does not include the tax. That does not include the delivery. And you can get your book in 1 week. So all of the factoring, if you're not good with factoring, we have a factor chart in the very back. We have the operations and terminology. Also, if we're looking at our squares and our cubes, we can do that. We have our rules of integers. We're looking at all those rules, the inequalities, the interval notation, order of operations, properties of exponents. We did this last night. Linear and quadratic equations. Okay, looking at standard form, slope-intercept form. That seems familiar. All right. Trying to get the decimal operations. This one is for Algebra 1 and for Algebra people. Okay, so this has all the components that's in there, like all the major stuff that you're going to be experienced with, that sometimes you just need examples, you just need reminders. They're all here. Graphing linear inequalities, system of inequalities, system of equations. So if you're getting your GED, this will be the great thing for you because you have all the references that you will need for your test. Same for the ASVAB. This will be a great thing. It has Pythagorean theorem, also a little trig, volume, surface area. Especially for the volumes, the ones that you're going to see a lot of is this rectangular prism, the cylinder. If you can get those two down, if they ask for the cone is basically 1/3 of the cylinder. You just take the formula of a cylinder, the volume, and just divide it by 3. Same thing when it comes to a pyramid. Okay, if you know the formula for doing a rectangular prism, just divide it by 3 and you get the formula for a pyramid. That's it. And then also conversions. If a lot of you guys are thinking about going into nursing, you need this because we don't want you killing anybody. Okay? All right. So we have our conversion chart that's going on here. So this is like 100 pages. You can have your actual notes in here. You can actually take pieces of your worksheets, cut them out, put them here. Or if you want, you could possibly tape a worksheet on one side and then write the summarization of what's on that worksheet so you can organize yourselves a lot better, okay? Now, if you want copies of my notes, just saying, we have something called Audrey's Notes, okay? With Audrey's Notes, you get the actual copy of all my notes in a nice little tied up in a bow. Okay, so the same formulas, the same steps, everything that I do on my lives. But if you notice, there's a QR code. So this QR code will take you to the YT channel and it'll take you directly to the live that's coordinated with this page. Okay, so then you can walk through it step by step. It's good for remediation. It's good for homeschool parents that just want to give added support. It's good for people that, hey, my kid might want to learn a little advanced math. The only thing about Audrey's Notes is it is not a consistent. It's not like, oh, we're going to do all of linear in one book and all of quadratic. It's just how I do my notes normally. So right now we're on book 6. So books 1 through 5 is out there. And this has taken a major slash again for this month only. It is $10.29. Okay. All books. Okay. All of my books. So where can you buy this? The sale only goes for books right here. This is the only place where you can get that discount because the brown box with the smile on it was not allowing me to do this major sale. Okay, so if you want to get that major discount, go here. Okay, you can get the notebooks, you can get Audrey's Notes on there. And I also had my little take on a coloring book at one time to help empower young ladies. That's on there as well. That's on sale. So everything, you see it, the dates, the prices are all there. If you want to buy more than one book, this will be the perfect time to do it. And I'm doing this in celebration of my birthday month. All right, no problem. Okay. So do I tutor for what's the FTCE? What is all this? Thank you. Okay, so it comes with all the lovely resources. I'm just kind of curious what the FTCE is. Is it teacher certification? Like the first part? Right now, just the workbooks. Yeah. The courses are already discounted because really that course, based on all the information on it, should be a $400 course, and that's $197. So that's on there. Okay. Teacher certification. Okay. Is it the first test or the second one? Is it for the general or the... Because I can do either one. The general one? Yeah. Yeah, I can help you with that. Okay. Hi, Jacinda. How are you? Thank you. How's life treating you? So if you are serious about it, if you need support, if you need help, please do not hesitate to contact me. That's the only way that I can help you. Okay? Because you can watch my videos and you can snag pieces and pieces here and there, but there might be something in particular that you want, but if I'm not touching on it that night, I'm not going to be able to answer it. Okay? So might as well see. Okay? I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Oh, did they come back with the fun emojis again? Oh, they did. I guess just for the holidays. Okay, am I doing more of these? Like more of what? More of the sales, more of the problems, more of the PSATs, more of what? It was fun and challenging. I mean, I might. I'm not sure. I'm just feeling kind of right now. Oh, and I almost forgot. See, I'm almost forgetting about the lefties in my life. Okay. If you do have any notebooks, also, I do have left-handed notebooks as well. Okay. So for anyone that's a lefty, here it is. Here's your ASMR. So you get the same stuff, but it's just opened on the other side to give you a better writing experience. Okay? And I don't see too many math notebooks. Okay? I do not see too many math notebooks that are, one, focused for lefties, two, that have the breakdown where you can just put your formula in one section, put in your steps. I don't see too many. It's either it is graph paper that you just make your own stuff, or it is a dot paper. But I don't see too many places that has like, okay, how are you feeling before the lesson? How are you feeling during? How are you feeling after the lesson? You know, that's great, especially for teachers. When you have a student in your classroom, you can literally say, all right, because sometimes we ask kids thumbs up, thumbs down, they'll just say thumbs up anyway because they don't want to be the odd person out. They can just simply circle their moods. So you can do a mood tracker. All right. Okay, please do. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I am going to wrap up. Again, I will be on at 6 p.m. tonight, not at 9:30. I will be on at 6 p.m. tonight, not at 9:30. I'm going to see if I can get some kind of rest and just move on. But we are going to be working on adding, subtracting, multiplying, and possibly dividing fractions. And then also I'm going to see if I can put simplifying fractions in there as well, because we got to get that down. We got to get that down. All right. Thank you so much for the, what is that, a balloon crown? Oh, that was cute. Oh. All right. Thank you. And I will see you guys tonight, possibly. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe. Love you all.